are hamster products that you should avoid at all costs. And conveniently, they're all sold at PetSmart, whose current slogan is anything for pets, including death. I added that. Okay, let's begin. The first thing is probably, hopefully, the most obvious thing. Those Tiny Tails cages. There's also the Critter Trail brand, ones with the fun little tubes and such. I've never seen one that has enough space for any sort of hamster. Doesn't matter what kind of hamster, no matter how small they are, it's not enough space for them. They need enough space to be able to burrow, create tunnels underground. They spend most of the time there, except for when they're awake at night. And then they need space to run around and forage and have fun and stretch their legs and such with more than just a wheel. Also, those tubes are seriously too small for Syrian hamsters. They will get stuck. They get pretty big. I went to PetSmart today to get some clips of these products I'm talking about and some alternatives that you could buy, but there were no good cage alternatives there. They all barely had any space for burrowing, wire bars that they can climb up and fall off and get hurt on. It's a bunch of bad. And since the cage is too small, they're gonna be chewing on those wire bars, trying to escape for dear life, and they're gonna eat the paint off of the wire, and it's just a big mess. It's really hard to find a good hamster cage in a pet store. If you have to go in a store to find an enclosure for your hamster, I'd recommend going with an aquarium, like a fish tank with a mesh lid, so that they can have plenty of ventilation. Or I would go with a custom cage. I see a lot of people using furniture from IKEA and just modifying it just a little bit to suit a hamster, which is pretty cool. The next thing I will give PetSmart a little bit of credit for. They don't advertise this specifically for hamsters, but it is mixed in with all of the other hamster advertised bedding, and that's pine bedding. Pine contains aromatic oils, which are toxic for hamsters to be breathing in all the time, and it can cause irritation to their respiratory system. Something that's really similar is aspen bedding. It's like the same thing. It's super absorbent, but it is really dusty, so I wouldn't recommend using only aspen. Another type of bedding I strongly advise you not to ever go near is lavender scented bedding. Why are we doing that? What's the deal with that lavender bedding? Once again, it's gonna irritate their respiratory system. Hamsters are very sensitive inside and out. The best paper bedding for hamsters, in my opinion, is Clean and Cozy. It holds burrows really, really well, and it's not scented, which is perfect, and it's pretty minimal on the dust. But every bedding I've ever seen or tried has been dusty, except for this one paper bedding called Eco bedding. I think I'm gonna put a picture right here. If you absolutely must have some form of flowers in your hamster's tank, there are hamster safe flowers that you can put in there for them to forage for, whether it's petals or a whole flower. There are tons on Amazon, Etsy, anywhere you can look. It's also really good for your hamster to eat those flowers in moderation because they have important vitamins for them. Okay, PetSmart has this edible log hide. And I fell victim to this. I actually had this for my hamster at one point until someone commented on my video and let me know that it has honey in it, which is not good for hamsters. And it also, in the ingredients, it says edible wood shavings. Don't know what kind of wood. I don't think hamsters should want to eat wood shavings. And when I was looking for good alternatives to this hide, I saw this nice wooden one. It looks safe, but no, it's made of pine. But they did have some hay tunnels and hides, which is really nice. It's edible. It's a little pokey on their pouch. Like if they try to store it in their pouch, it can damage that, but it's better than eating honey and wood shavings. And if you'd like to have some sort of edible decorations in the tank for your hamster, sprays and the flowers we talked about earlier are great, and sprays are something that your hamster should be eating anyway. So yeah, it's great for giving them lots of coverage and making them feel safe and secure anyway. This next thing is pretty common. I see a lot of people getting these treats for their hamsters. They're the drops by, I think, VitaKraft. They are yogurt drops, which are just pure sugar, basically. The first ingredient is literally sugar. It's mostly sugar. Hamsters should not be eating that much sugar. If you want to give your hamster a nice, healthy, sweet treat, fruit is great in moderation as long as it's a hamster-safe fruit. And they sell bags of dried strawberries and bananas and stuff like that. And the hamsters love it. It's a great reward for if you're trying to train your hamster to do whatever. This is another common one I see specifically on that one TikTok live stream of all the dwarf hamsters that are just in together running on those little wheels. It's the disc wheels. I also don't like the wire wheels, and I'll explain why both of these are not as safe as just a regular plastic wheel. The disc has no protection for if your hamster is running really fast and then they decide to stop all of a sudden because they're a hamster and they do stuff like that. They can just fly off of the wheel, and it's funny for the live stream, but it's not funny for the hamster. They're really fragile and they can break bones really easily. And the wire wheel, which PetSmart does not sell, thankfully, they do have the disc wheels, don't have the wire wheels. Those can cause bumblefoot. Stepping on wires all the time is not fun. Hamsters can run up to like 6 miles every night, so they need something safe for their little feet. Another super common thing that I see people buying for their hamsters is the iconic hamster ball. No, don't. These hamster balls, thankfully, have little holes for breathing purposes, which is good. But it's not so good when the hamster gets their foot stuck in those little breathing holes, and then the ball is rolling and they're stuck, and then they break their foot falls off and whatnot. I highly recommend getting a playpen instead. You can attach multiple playpens together to be the size of your entire living room if you want to. You can put it in the yard. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Here's some playpens I saw at PetSmart. Put some little hides around and sprinkle some treats on the ground for your hamster to go forage for. It's a lot of fun playtime in the playpen with your little hamster friend. I recommend getting like a plastic one that's like solid plastic, or one with wires that go vertically so they can't just crawl out. It's a lot of fun. An alternative to the alternative of a playpen would be to hamster proof an entire area, an entire room that you can close off in your house, or your entire house if you want to go nuts. I mean, that'd be awesome. Tropical Carnival hamster food, and also Sunburst hamster food, are advertised as food and treat in one. Why? That's like if we just had like a salad with Oreos mixed in every day for our meal all the time. These are great things to get as a treat if you want to just sprinkle it in the cage every now and then for them to forage. That's fine, but it's not an everyday thing for them to be eating. There's plenty of seed mixes on Etsy. That would be a great diet. I really like Rody Pet. They have great hamster foods. The hamster food options in PetSmart and Petco are just not good. It's really hard to find a good hamster food around here. We can take a look at some of the ingredients in the Tropical Carnival over here. It's just a lot of junk, and there's a lot of fat and sugar. Same with the Sunburst food. Here's the ingredients on that one. The very last thing I want to talk about is bath powder. I don't know why I still see bath powder advertised for hamsters. The powder is great for chinchillas. They can go off with their little dusty baths. But hamsters, like we've talked about, have sensitive respiratory systems. They need to bathe in sand like they do in the wild. Aquarium sand? Perfect. Probably cheaper than the freaking dust that they're trying to sell too. I just don't know why we're slapping animals on other animals' products all the time. But yeah, they bathe in sand. They use it to strip the unnecessary oils from their skin, and they roll around and it's really cute. There's plenty more hamster products out there that are not safe. This is just stuff from PetSmart I wanted to go over, and I want to do another video like this in the future on fish products that are not safe, because there's quite a few out there. There's also some fish products that are just kind of a scam, and they're advertised as something that they're definitely not. So I think that would be interesting to go over. Also, while I was at PetSmart, I picked up quite a few care guides on the fish, and I picked up one leopard gecko one as another video idea coming up, because I think that would be interesting for sure, based off of the labels they put on their fish tanks and their minimum tank requirements. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like the video if you like the video. Let me know what's your favorite type of hamster in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love. Can you see my legs?
No.
Okay. Their foot falls off and whatnot. What else do you say about that?